Alrighty, let's have a chat about this studio. Hopefully you got some good practice doing some paired programming, got to know some of your fellow students, got some work done. I saw a lot of great solutions to this problem. We gave you some help. We told you a couple things that you were going to have to do, and so our task now is to just figure out how to turn these into code. It makes it sound so simple, right? Yeah, just pick a random neighbor and then set it to the neighbor's colors. It just sounds very easy, but there are some challenges that we need to be aware of. So let's start at the beginning. Randomly choose the coordinates of a neighboring pixel. So how many random values am I going to have to create? How many random values do I need? 2. I need 2. 1 for the row, 1 for the column. I cannot pick out a pixel without 2 values. 1 for the row, 1 for the column. Okay? So let's see if we can do that. I need a random row. So how do we want to generate random numbers? There's more than one way. Anybody have a suggestion? Random dots. Rand range. All right, that's the first one I heard. Oops, rand rage. Yeah. That's like every day at work for me. Not really. I'm not an angry person. All right, and what should I put in here? This is kind of the tricky part, right? There's actually, again, I think there's multiple ways that we could do this and still be okay. Does anybody have any suggestions for how I should generate this range? All right, so I heard -1 to 1. What do we think? So the 1 is a problem because it goes up to but not including that value. So you would still get a random pixel, but you would only, if we look at the diagram, if I used -1 to 1, I'd still get a random pixel, but it would only be from the first 2 columns and the first 2 rows. So A, B, D, G would be the only ones that I could select if I did that. You'd probably still get an image that looks pretty blurry, right? But it wouldn't be quite as blurry as it could be, perhaps. Okay? And so we'll do the same process for the column. -1, oops, come on. -1 to 2. All right. So I chose the coordinates. What should I do next? Anybody have any ideas of what to do next? There's a couple different paths we could take. I would like to do whatever you guys want to do. Anybody have an idea for me? I've got a random row and a random column, or I've got a random number between -1 and 1. How am I going to use that value? Yeah, in the back, Alex? Yes. I like it. I'm going to grab a pixel from the image at these random coordinates. So my image is this one, IMG, right? So we know that to get a pixel, we say get pixel, and then it wants the column first, the row first, column first. So which one's my column? Random call, random row. Are we good? I hear some people saying no. What's wrong? I have to add it to my current position, right? These numbers are always going to be -1, 0, or 1. -1, 0, or 1. So this would just keep picking pixels from the top left corner. Actually, I'm probably going to get unlucky and try to pick a pixel that's not even in the image. I go negative, go off the edge, which would cause an error if I did this. So that's not good enough. I need to do this in conjunction with my current position. So my current position is what? I and J. Which one's the column and which one's the row? I heard both answers. I saw some people do this. I saw some people sit down and the first thing they did was this. Is this good? Is this right? No, it's not. It's not. That's not correct. The row is this one. The column is this one. The height, right, the up and down, that tells me which row I'm on. Height is up and down, tells me which row I'm on. Width is left to right, it tells me which column I'm at. So the column is this one. So if you want to switch those, you can. I actually think that's a great idea. Just make sure you get the right names in the right places. So now I can do what? Column plus. This is looking better. Are we happier about that? I'm happier about that. All right. Let's save this. P. Okay. All right, what's next? We have a random neighbor. We have a random neighbor pixel. What's next? What do I do now? Get the values out of it. Okay. I'm going to grab the values out of this pixel. So how do we do that? What do I say? P dot. Which values am I looking for? Get red. Yeah, all right. P dot get red. P dot get green. P dot get blue. And I should probably save these to variables, right? So red, green, blue. Oops, equals. Okay, so to recap, I generated a random row and column. I grabbed the pixel at that random row and column, and now I've grabbed the red, green, and blue values out of that random pixel. So here we go. I think we're ready for this second to-do down here. In the new image, set this pixel's color to the neighbor's color. So how do I do that? How am I going to pull that off?
So your original column and row, you want to set what you got from the red, green, and blue, you want to set it to your original column.
To my original column and row. That's correct. So how do I do that? What code do I need to start typing to take these colors and put them in the original column and row? What do I need to do first? I heard somebody say set pixel. Is that good? I think we'll need to do this eventually. I think there's something else we need to do first. We need to make a new pixel. We need to make a copy of that pixel with the colors that we pulled out of this one. So new pixel equals, what is it, image.pixel? Is that how we create a pixel? And then pass in the red, green, blue. I've made a copy. I've made a copy of the pixel that I randomly selected. Does everybody see that? Everybody understand that? I made a copy, and now what am I going to do? I'm going to take this copy and I'm going to stick it in the image that we're creating. So the new image that we've got is called new image, all right? New image dot set pixel. What does set pixel want? It wants some information, right? What comes first? Column, row, new pixel. We might have made a mistake somewhere in there, but I feel like we're pretty good. I think we're ready to try it at least. Let's do a quick recap before I hit that run button just to make sure we're on the same page, right? I picked a random row and random column. I grabbed the pixel at that random row and random column using my current row and column as a starting point, right? I got the colors out of that random pixel, created a copy of it, and then inserted that pixel into the new image at my current position. Let's see if it works. Well, it didn't crash right away, so that's a good sign. Oh, it's done. Hey, we got there. But wait, there's still some things that kind of bother me about this a little bit. Is there anything that bothers other people about this a little bit? Yeah. Yeah, you.
Is it necessary to to initialize the colors, the variables red, green, and blue, like can we just grab that pixel at that random location and then just put it in the new image?
Okay. So the question is, do we have to, oops. Oh, Mac, what are you doing? I don't know what I did. The question is, can we ditch this stuff, right, and just stick this pixel in the new image? Am I understanding that correctly? So can we ditch this? Let's see. Maybe I don't need to make a copy. Maybe I can just take the pixel and just do that. Is that what you're asking? Let's see. Let's see. And I can actually get rid of some code that way. Let's see what happens. Seems all right so far. It's done. Hey, look at that. We just saved ourselves some lines of code. Cool. That looks good. Great suggestion. Does anybody have any issues with this solution still? I still have some problems with it, yeah.
If your random values are 0 and 0, then you're really just not replacing.
Yeah. Thank you. That bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you guys, but it bothers me. I could randomly choose 0 and 0 here, which means that I'm not randomly selecting a neighbor at all. I'm selecting myself and copying myself over directly. Do you see that? If I randomly choose 0 and 0, can I fix that? Yeah. Re-roll them? Yeah. So the suggestion was an if statement. If random row and random column are both 0, random row equals 0. What would I put next? And, thank you, random column equals 0. Then I want to just re-roll them, right? This is a good start, excuse me, but I'm not quite satisfied. Yeah. Yeah, you.
Inside the rand range, couldn't we simply just do, like for the random row, inside the rand range, do row minus 1, comma, row plus 2. That essentially is giving you like the pixel to the left, the pixel itself,
Yep.
or the pixel to the right.
Yeah, but I think, so I agree with you that we certainly could do that. We could insert row and column here, and we would remove them here as a result. However, that does not solve the problem that we might randomly select the original pixel, which is what I'm trying to get away from. I want this image to be like max blurry. I don't want to randomly select the same pixel that I already have. And this moves us a step in the right direction, but there's still a problem. Yeah, what's up? A while loop. A while loop. Because this is random. How many times might I randomly choose 0 and 0? The answer is I could maybe choose them forever to infinity. Now the odds of that happening are like extremely, extremely small, right? But theoretically, it's technically true that this while loop could potentially run forever, right? If it just keeps randomly choosing 0, 0 forever. That could happen, but it probably won't. Watch it happen now when I hit the run button. It's never happened to me yet, and I've been doing this for a long time. But so now, if it happens more than once, that's the real takeaway here, right? If it happens more than once, I'm still going to keep choosing random values until I get something that's not 0 and 0. Does that make sense? So it should be even blurrier. Will we notice that it's even blurrier? I'm not sure, but it should be even blurrier. Yeah, it looks about the same. It is blurrier though, I promise. It is objectively blurrier than it was before. But wait, I'm still not satisfied. I think we could blurry it up even more.
Oh, change your range.
Right now we're not doing the edges. The edges aren't being blurred. Right? We're not blurring the edges, but we could. We could blur the edges too. What would I need to change if I wanted to blur the edges? What would have to change in this code if I wanted to include the edges of this image? Anybody? Yeah, the range is here. This is going to become 0. This -1 is going to go away. I'm going to go over the full range now, right? We put the 1 and the -1 there so that we would avoid the edges. Well, I don't want to avoid the edges. I want to blur the edges too. I want to do that as well. So let's get that out of here. Is this going to work? What's going to happen when I run this? It's going to go out of bounds, out of range. Okay, we could fix that, right? How do I fix that? How do I fix that? Another while loop while it's still within range. We need to be a little careful. I like your suggestion of another while loop. I think, though, that putting a second while loop in here is a little problematic because if it passes this first while loop and I put another one to check to make sure that it's in the bounds, it might just pick 0, 0 again, in which case the first while loop is... Do you see what I'm getting at? Yeah. So I do like the suggestion, but I think we have to use the same while loop that we already have. I think we just have to add some additional information to this while loop to make sure that it's going to fit within the boundaries, right? So when do I want to re-roll? I want to re-roll if the random row and the random column are both equal to 0. I'm going to put that in parentheses because those are tied together, right? Another case that I would want to re-roll is what? If they're negative, right? So what would I start typing next? Or random, I could do this. Well, so how do I want to do this? Random row. Oops. Is it random row is negative? Less than 0? Is that right? No, why not? It's -1. I mean, we're specifically asking for -1, right? It's not if this is -1. What is it that's negative that causes the problem? This position, this whole position, right? And actually, if we're going to do this, I think that it's really better to just put these values directly in here. It's going to save us some typing. Pick a random row, pick a random column. This will save us a little bit of time, a little bit of typing. I'm going to get rid of them down here. I don't need them anymore. Because these are actual coordinates now, right? It's not just -1 to +1. It's actual coordinates. And so now I can do this. This is good now, right? Random row is less than 0. That's actually accurate now, right? If random row is less than 0, I'm in trouble. Okay, but we're not done. Or random row is greater than the width or the height? The height. Image.get height. We're still not done. I did the row, right? Or random column is less than 0, or random column is greater than image.get width. Or more conditions. No, I'm just kidding. I think that's it.
So if only one of those numbers is negative, or one of those numbers is outside our range, then
I'm going to re-roll them both. Yeah, I'm going to re-roll them both.
okay.
And that's where things maybe seem a little bit shaky still, right? Why would I want to re-roll them both? Maybe one of them's broken, but the other one's fine, and I'm saying, well, I'm going to re-roll them both anyway. That seems a little inefficient. Could we fix that to make it a little bit more efficient? Yeah, but this will still work. This will still get the job done, right? I think. We haven't tried it yet. We haven't tested it yet. Let's run it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Index out of range. On line 20, we didn't fix it. There's a very subtle problem here. I need to change my parameters in my reroll. Well, that's definitely a not subtle problem that I totally missed. Thank you. Let's fix that. Oh, not row. What am I doing? I'm getting copy-paste happy here. Sorry. All right, let's try it again. Fix that. Let's try it again. Still didn't work. Pixel out of range. Ah. All right, there's still a very subtle problem here. Very subtle problem. Does anybody know what it is? So it has to do with the way the computers count. The first pixel in the top left corner, what are the coordinates? 0, 0. What's the coordinates of the very far right, top right corner? The row is 0. 1 minus the width. 1 minus the width. The width is the total number of pixels that we have, but we start from 0. So the last pixel is actually 1 less than that. So I need to come back here and say height minus 1, width minus 1. So I did need to make that condition a little bit longer. Let's see. Let's see if we're there yet. Okay, it's running. No errors this time. Not yet anyway. Not yet. And I go down here and wow, the borders are blurry too. I can't really see it. Can I zoom in? Oh my goodness. Oh no. What have I done? Look at that. Oh, that's as far as it'll let me go? That's disappointing. All right. Well, you're just going to have to take my word for it, I guess. It does. Are there any questions? All right. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back on Monday.